No chalk, but I will get some. So, you're back with us, Connor.
I wish I wasn't.
So do we. We haven't missed it, mate.
Letting you two spastics run havoc. I couldn't think of anything worse for my little baby business.
Well, you've been playing fucking flats.
I've been playing fucking flats.
I'll put this light on, I suppose. It's getting a bit fucking dim in it, but like you.
Go, you're a twat. Go put your light on, you old man. Yes, I've been playing flats. I've moved in. Everything's in that I think needs to be moved in, but there's always little things that you find every day. Where's this? Oh, for fuck's sake! Straight onto Amazon, ordering another one.
Yeah, and then 10 minutes later, as soon as you've ordered a new one, the old one turns up.
Oh yeah, and I'll open another box, and it's in there. Oh, for fuck's sake, Connor. The thing about where I am, a lot of the stuff I can order is same day delivery.
Oh, fucking that's deadly, isn't it?
It's insane.
That's
so
deadly.
If you order in the morning, it's with you by 10 p.m. at night. So I've had fucking toilet plungers appear in all sorts.
Yeah, that's fucking deadly, because if I could do that, I would have no money.
Just the impulse purchases would be
yeah,
insane.
well, I remember. I mean, it's been pretty crap here throughout COVID, but it's got really shit since Brexit. It's to the point when there's some stuff I just don't bother ordering. I just think I can't be bothered to. I'll just fucking do without, you know. It saved me a fucking fortune. But I remember at one point it was really fucking good. I mean, you could get next day delivery from the UK, but most often it was probably 2 or 3 days. And with Amazon Prime, it was free. So the shit I've bought, man. I've got 3. Count them, 3. That's 4. 3. 3 fucking graphics pencils.
What are they?
Well, it's like the old Apple Pencil, but before the Apple Pencil came out.
Oh, okay.
You use it for the iPad and shit, right? I got 3 of them. And 2 of them, I don't even remember buying. I must have been drunk.
I was going to say, why have you got 3? Surely that's the sort of thing you buy one of.
That's what I thought. Why? Because how the fuck have I got 3? Well, you got fucking. I mean, talk about one of the things about buying your premium price you pay for, convenience. What could be more convenient than 2-day delivery from Amazon or wherever in the UK and buy with 1 click? I mean, you literally just have to click on that area of the screen and it will magically appear at your house a couple of days later. If that's not fucking deadly dangerous, I don't know what is. You know? The amount of money I've spent on shit I don't want.
And it feels like it's free in a way, doesn't it? Because it's so quick, it's so easy. You don't double check your bank. You're not paying
it's just a number out your bank account.
Shipping.
I mean, this is going to be probably a surprise to some people. I don't know how much is in my bank account to the nearest couple of £100 anyway. So, yeah, I just don't.
That's fair. It's choked on my own spit. That's fair enough.
So really, you know, there's just. Don't get me wrong. It's a great life to have. Because I genuinely don't. I mean, I don't lack for money, but I don't really care about it either. These people who go through their entire lives, like my old man did, fucking hell, counting his pennies.
Oh God!
Checking his numbers. I mean, I know it makes sense in business to check your numbers, like we do every month. We have the team meeting and stuff. But these people who fucking fret and worry about it.
I remember when I was becoming a man. I'm growing up, getting more responsibility.
When's that going to happen then? When's that going to happen, you fucking pussy?
Fuck you. Started making more money and whatnot, and I'm like, right, I need to learn how to manage money. Like everyone tells me it's a skill, and you know all of these different things. So I started reading up into the world of finances and whatnot. And I remember reading something that's just put me off the world of finance and properly managing personal finances. This is forever when it said the first thing you should do every day is check your bank account. I'm not waking up and the first thing I'm doing is checking my bank account. I couldn't think of a worse way to start my day.
Why would you do that? I mean,
I know there's money in there. There's money that goes in.
But that's the whole point. It's only money.
Yeah, and it goes in. They
and it
don't
comes
buy
out.
that much. Then some leaves, and I've never had my card. Well, I haven't had my card declined for a very long time. So
I mean, it happens with us quite a lot with the joint account because we don't put much in there. Because the government over here, in their wisdom, changed the rules so that you are. How does it work? I don't remember exactly how it works, but basically it means Sarah has to pay the money from the company as our salary in one go, and she used to pay it every week because she manages the money. So she had to go through this whole rigmarole. I mean, I don't know why she did this. I didn't even ask. I don't care. But she set up this whole fucking rigmarole of bank accounts. So now she pays it all over into a kind of separate account and then pays it into the joint account every week to help her manage, just keep it, the cash flow, I suppose. So sometimes, you go and buy something for 12 quid and the card bounces, and for fuck's sake. So then I pay for it on my own card and pay myself back out the joint when there's money in there. The fucking time I spend doing that, I had to bill her for my time. So but the card probably bounces once a week, but that's just management. It's not lack of cash. But I did something a long time ago, and I don't remember when it was. It's certainly since the kids have been. No, it's before the kids were born, so it's at least 23 years ago. But I just don't have an emotional attachment to money. Now, that's not the same as saying it's not important, because it is. Of course it is. You don't have any. You're on the streets. That's, it's not the same thing. But what I'm saying is I don't have an emotional attachment to it. If it was all taken away, that would present a problem in the sense that I've got to overcome it because I need money to live. But it wouldn't be this, oh my God, all my money's gone. Where's it all gone? I don't have that. And in the same way as if, I know there are gurus out there who would say, oh, that's a negative poverty mindset. No, it's on the contrary. The poverty mindset is one where you worry about the money. Right? These are the people who will chase people who owe them money, or conversely will prostitute themselves for a low fee because they're desperate to get the work and the money in, and then piss them off because it's not enough.
Oh, and then they think the way it's just stupid. They think the way to cure their money problems is by cutting prices and entering a price war. But what people don't realize is no one wins a fucking price war.
No one wins a price war. And any kind of victory there might be, if you see you get more work and more business, it's what they call a Pyrrhic victory. It's like shooting yourself in the foot. It's everybody fucking suffers in a price war. It's bad for you. It's bad for your clients. So it's bad for you because obviously you're not making enough money. You're not making as much money, and you're working the same for each. Well, if you get the same amount of work, you're working just as hard for less money. But because you're not making as much money per job, you need to work harder. So you're then working harder for less money or the same money. That harms you, obviously. It also harms your clients because you can't give them the service they desire, they deserve, or anything else. It's even bad for your competition because in a price war, what happens is, Fred down the street drops his prices, say in a restaurant. So you then drop your prices. And everyone else down the street, every other restaurant drops their prices too. And over a short period of time, the amount of clientele just fucking evens out because people who like going to the chicken restaurant will go back to the chicken restaurant having tried the beef one when they drop their prices. But they'll just go back, regression to the mean. So I'll give it a little while. It all settles down. You all get the same amount of business, roughly, as before. The only thing is, you're not being paid as much for it. Well, you can't deliver the same quality and service for a low price as you can for a high price. So every fucker suffers. You, your clients, and whether you care or not, the competition.
It's fucking insane. Back where I used to live, I can say that now.
Yeah.
On a little
when you lived at home with
island.
mummy and daddy.
With mummy and daddy, I ventured out into the big boy world. Got myself an office, a bedroom, a living room. I've even got a roof terrace. Anyway, back on Hayling. Hayling's a small place, obviously. It's a tiny little island. There's this one kebab shop that's progressively been putting its prices up over time because it quickly realised there was a market on the island for expensive but good quality. I'd say expensive, comparably expensive, good quality fast food on the island. And it's not even fast. You have to wait half an hour for this kebab because it is a kebab shop. and you're looking at £10 for a kebab, which is a lot more than most people would want to pay for a kebab. But it's so fucking good. I've never had a better kebab, even in restaurants. It's so fucking good, and they are rammed all the fucking time. They must make so much money, because Hailing Island is a wealthy place, and they are always chocker with orders. You've got a battle to get on the phone with them. If you order on the website, you know, it says this could take hour to hour and a half, because everyone's just ordering their kebabs. They need to put their prices up again. It's ridiculous.
I was going to say, yeah, they should put their prices up.
Mm.
And you see people on LinkedIn will say, oh, it's greedy. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
The point I'm making is there has been 10 other kebab shops, roughly, or fast food shops that have tried to compete on price with this place. Funnily enough, there's one that has survived, and it's a hog roll place, and they are even more expensive than the kebab shop. A hog roll, hog roast.
Oh, right, yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And they're even more expensive than the kebab shop. And they're the only one that survived. There's been a plethora of different cheap shit takeaways that have set up, been there for 6 months to a year, and have gone. And it's always right, just they keep the kebab up there, and it's just James's kebabs, you know, Kathir's kebab, it's just all these different, and they all go. But every one that sets up, and they're more expensive, higher quality, good service, they get to know you on a first name basis, they're still there.
Yeah, I mean, we in the town, I've written about this in my daily emails over the years several times. But it's so common, it's almost a cliche. It's not happening right now because of COVID. But what would happen is there's a few sites in town where what happens is it gets taken up, the shop fitters move in, and a cafe opens up. Right? Great. And it's usually some bloke, or more often a woman, to be honest, who's got taken early retirement and poured her nest egg into a live stream of running a little cafe, right? And they're trying to make themselves different, but they make themselves different with the little knickknacks on the table. You know, so some of them have a little metal bucket with the knives and forks in, and these little fucking milk churns for the, you know, just little things that make no difference really, but they're just little things they think are a USP, and they're all cheap. And 6 months later to a year, they go out of business. And then maybe a couple of months later, you know, lease acquired, another cafe opens up. Same thing happens. It just happens time. And there's probably 3 or 4 sites in the town that happens to. And then there are sites in the town where it's pound shops, you know, everything under a pound, well, everything under €1. And not only, I mean, how they keep going, I don't know. How they keep going, because if everything's under a pound, you can't be making much profit on each one. But even if it's 100% profit, you're probably going to be selling €1,000 a month at least, you know, to keep things going. Well, how do you sell 1,000 pieces of shit out of a shop like that in a place like Clonakilty? Seriously. But the kind of clients, the kind of customers you get in a pound shop, seriously, you know, I wouldn't want to go in there. And I'm not a snob at all, but I don't want to go into a pound shop. I want to get seen by people. I wouldn't even go into fucking Lidl. You know, I'll send the missus into Lidl. I ain't going. People might see me. If I'm going into Lidl, I'm going to pretend I'm someone else, or pretend I'm fucking burgeoning the place or something, you know?
That's a good,
the thing is, Lidl do great cheese and bread. Their bread and cheese is fucking superb.
They have, does your one have a bakery?
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, super value is fucking. We're talking about bread now. We can. How boring are we?
But how good is bread?
Bread is the dog's bollock.
How good is bread?
Bread.
It's boring, but
bread is fucking.
I fucking love me some bread.
I love bread. Bread and cheese. I mean,
next time you send Mrs. EBG and ask her to get you a Portuguese tart.
I'll get one of those.
As good as it sounds.
I'd go all the way to Portugal for one of those.
It's just as good as it sounds.
But yeah, so you know, no one wins a prize war, and I mean, some people have the discounting thing, have the low price thing. They've got it sorted, like Ryanair. Duns have got a really good thing. My local supermarket, they give you a voucher. For every 50 quid you spend, you get a voucher for €10 off the next time you spend €50. Well, that's fine because it keeps you going back to spend €50.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's worth doing. You can sometimes get €25 off a fucking fairly large shop. You know, it's worth having. but that keeps you going back. So that is strategic.
Yeah.
Most people discount tactically. Oh my God, they're asking for a discount. I must give them a discount because they might walk away otherwise. Yeah, good fucking riddance to them. If they do, you don't want them. You know, it's bad for everyone. I mean, discounts in particular harming clients. That's the thing that gets me. I think most people can see how it harms them. They don't understand how much it harms them because they don't understand the numbers. You know, a 10% fucking price cut on a 35% markup cuts your profits by 40%. Switch it round, it means you can almost afford to, you can afford to lose almost a third of your sales and make the same amount of money. So just going to the numbers, it means you can probably leave work on around late Thursday morning and have the rest of the week off. So Thursday afternoon and Friday off and make the same amount of money. Well, that's worth doing, but wouldn't it be better to keep working and make even more? That's with a shitty 10% price cut or increase on a 35% markup. I mean, no one pisses and moans about 10%, surely. And most people could probably sustain, we've got guys selling at 22.5%, 50%, 100%, 312%, even 1,000% more. Imagine how much extra money they're making. But so everyone knows that price cuts and price increases are either bad for or good for, depending on which one you do, because you make more money, you know, free up your time, get better customers and things, and the rest of it. What they don't understand is a price cut. I've got a really fucking bad headache. A price cut actually harms. Yeah, there's no 1 minute hate today because of my fucking head, so don't even fucking go there.
Oh, I'm going to be taking the piss when we finish this little.
You cannot take the piss.
I fucking
you can't. I'll be triggered.
Your problem, not mine.
I'll report you for bullying.
Oh, fuck off, you little spastic.
No. Price cuts, discounts harm clients. Because the first thing is, you know, not only can you not spend the amount of time and effort on them they deserve. I've been through this before. If I charge 10 people £1,000 to write a sales letter every month, I've got, 10 people want my time and effort. That's 2 people, 3 people a week. I can't do that.
Not at your age.
Not at any age. No one can sustain, probably 2 and a bit sales letters a week, constantly, consistently. Not good quality. You just can't. So it must needs your clients are getting inferior service. If you're doing something like, and this is again a thing I don't really understand. Most people just seem to understand. Say you're a fit pro, or any kind of healthcare professional, or even a marketer like me. If you are dishing out high quality advice, and your clients are not taking it, then that's bad for them. Well, if you're not charging them a decent amount of money, they've got no incentive to take it, especially if it's uncomfortable. So for us, we would say to someone, put your prices up, stop getting on the phone with people, close your office so people can't just walk in. We'd have a list of maybe a dozen things people have got to do, most of which are uncomfortable and counterintuitive. If they won't do them, any money they've spent with us is wasted, and they're not getting the benefit of any of it.
Yeah.
Right. If we charge them £1,000 for that advice and they ignore it and they think I've only lost 1,000, it doesn't matter. If we charge them 50k for it and they don't do it, that's a fucking big deal.
Yeah.
So they're much more likely to do as they're told because I want to get my money back. I want to do this thing. Well, it's the same with being a fit pro. If your customers and your clients, you've paid them so little, it doesn't matter if they just ignore your advice and carry on drinking and eating and smoking or whatever. Who cares? Well, they care because they're not getting the results. And it can damage you because eventually they'll go away and say, well, I'll work with John and Connor and it didn't do anything. They'll forget the fact they didn't actually fucking do anything themselves. I was in that program, it didn't work for me. No, what you mean is you didn't do it.
I can think of 2 names of previous clients that I wish we charged fucking triple for to get them to pull their fingers out their arseholes. Yeah. And it's not like they bought something that was cheap either.
No. Oh, I guess you're always going to get people who do that. Well, unless you pay. Well, I remember once I worked with a physiotherapist, and this was at a time because physiotherapy, it actually follows it follows a second order differential equation. But basically, what happens is it works. It's the same with plumbers and tradespeople as well. So it is relevant. So you get to a point where, it got to a point where there were loads of physiotherapy jobs going. So everyone went to university to become a physiotherapist because there's loads of work. So it happens with the trades as well. Then they all leave uni or wherever, become qualified, and all of a sudden there are too many physios and the rest of it. So there's no work. So there's a lot of unemployed people twiddling their thumbs. Fast forward 5 or 10 years, there are no more electricians or plumbers, and there's loads of work. So, you know, it goes through cycles. Well, this lady, she'd just qualified, or she'd been qualified for a while, and she couldn't get a job. So she set up on her own, and she says, look, the problem is I've got loads of competition because everyone and their fucking aunt is now a physiotherapist. There's people coming out who've not been qualified as long as me, but they're all really cheap. So what can I do? And she hadn't got much money, but she paid me, and she did this really fucking small ad. I think it's 63 or 64 mil by 64 mil, little square one in the yellow pages. Remember the yellow pages?
I do.
That's how long ago it was. And she said to me probably 6 months later, she said, my only regret, John, is I didn't pay you more and pay more for a bigger ad, because she had people driving past the front door of other physiotherapists to get to her and to pay her more than the closer people, simply because she knew what she was doing. And because she was charging them more, and she was charging them a lot, they were doing the stuff, getting the results, which is the one that kept coming back to her. These people saying, I went to a physio, didn't really like it much, and I didn't go back again. Well, if they'd have paid these people 10K or 5K as opposed to £15 an hour, they would have gone back and they would have got the results. It's not difficult, but it's not intuitive. And people do think, oh, I'll just sell it cheap, it'll be okay. It won't be okay. It's a stupid idea.
You're not wrong.
My arm vibrator just went there. Anyway.
Is that your Fitbit?
Yeah.
You're still on the old Fitbit thing?
I want a knob bit.
Oh, a what?
A knob bit.
What? You look at
I want something. I want something to put around a knob and it vibrates from time to time, you know?
Oh, fair enough. I thought you was going to say it tells you how much blood there is in your penis, so you know how flaccid or hard you are.
Well, I can't remember the last time I had a hard on.
I just told my flatmate that that I'm on a call for the next hour and it's important work stuff, and we're sat here talking about knob bits.
That's very important. Is there anything more important in your life than your knob? Be honest.
My eyesight.
If you had to choose between going blind or losing your knob, which would you do?
Knob. I just learned to stimulate the male G-spot up my rectum.
You've not learned that already? Fucking hell, Con. What are you playing at?
I'm only 24. Give me time. I've just moved in with the male.
I would. Fucking hell. I'd much rather lose my eyesight than my knob.
Really?
Definitely.
Serious?
Fucking too right.
So you'd rather be blind and have a knob? Just think how often you use your knob compared to how often you use your eyes.
I use my knob a lot. Piss out of it and everything. Talk to it. Stroke it. Fucking jerk off most mornings. Shag the missus.
Most mornings.
Yeah. Hang around outside school with it in the air, you know. Woo!
No wonder you put up with her screeching.
I can't believe you would. I don't believe it. I actually, you fucking.
I would.
You would. No. There's no way you would rather lose your eyesight than your knob.
All right, let me paint the scenario. So you're strapped in a chair. Have you seen Saw?
Yes.
You're strapped. So you're in a Saw-like trap, yeah. And you have a choice. Left hand is knob button. Right hand is your eyesight. You're strapped in, and you've got two clusters of rusty needles just above your eyesight, and you've got some garden shears around your knob. You're telling me you're choosing the plunger into your eyesight?
Definitely. There's no way that I'm in my knob. My knob is my knob.
I'm baffled. I can no.
Yes.
Your eyes, man.
Yeah, great. My knob.
We could just go in circles for this. You could talk about this for far too long. So, shall I tell you what's more dangerous?
This is the kind of this is the kind of conversation I don't normally have with Holly. You see.
The podcast's been really fucking boring. I can't believe she gave me shit. I think she gave me shit saying the downloads were down, and she was getting it confused with her episodes. Every time she comes on, every time I come back, that's me doing up and down for the listeners. Fuck me, cheeky cow. I'll dock her wages for that.
You haven't got a knob. Hey, what were we going to say?
I was going to say there's something more dangerous than garden shears round your knob or clusters of rusty needles in front of your eyes, and it's 6 words.
Oh yes, yeah.
And it's the most dangerous 6 words.
The most dangerous 6 words in business. Oh my God.
You take it away.
God. And the times I've seen it as well. And we're not even talking about these great big fucking furniture stores and places with their perennial sales, and they can afford it. And they make it up on their other sales and things like that. And I mean, their prices are artificial anyway. But and we're talking of guys in the street, you know, handymen and electricians and plumbers and tradespeople. You know, we won't be beaten on price. And what they're saying is, you know, we are happy to work for less than anyone else. Don't care how little it is, how skilled I am, what the job is, how difficult it's going to be. We won't be beaten on price. I mean, I could weep for these people.
Just imagine losing all control over your own prices for your own business.
That's what you've done, yeah. You have lost control of your prices. If that is your price, if that is your promise, and let's face it, sticking to your word is a good thing. If that is the promise you're making, you effectively, your prices are being set by things outside your control.
By idiots. If a competitor set us up down the road, they could do it with the sole intention just to fuck you.
If they wanted to, yeah. If it was that important to them. They could set up a business, put 10K into it for a laugh to put you out of business.
And do you know what the funniest thing is? They wouldn't even have to do that, because this silly cunt saying they won't be beaten on price is going to put themselves out of business.
Yeah, it's because the misconception is, oh, we'll make it up with volume. But let's go back to the scenario and we said, you know, if you put your prices up by 10%, you can actually afford to lose a third of your business. Conversely, if you reduce your prices by 10%, you've got to do about a third more business. Yeah, because you've lost about 40% of your profits, so you need to make that up. So you need to do considerably more than 10% more business to keep your profits up. You've got to make up that 40%, or 38.6, or 38.57. But you know, that's 38.6%. You've almost 40%. So you've got to do not far off, twice as much work. You know, it's not that far off 50%. And most people in the trades are probably not on 35% anyway. And the smaller your markup, the bigger that shortfall is going to be. So 38.6% is on 35% markup. If you're marking up, say, 20%, which is probably about right for most people in the trades, that 38.6% is probably more like 50 to 60%. Probably not far off. I could do the numbers, but there's not much point. The numbers aren't that important, not for this conversation. What's important is increase your prices by 10%. You almost, on that kind of low margin, that kind of low market, you'll almost double your profits. Conversely, if you cut your prices by 10%, like so many do, you halve your profits, which means you've got to do twice as much work. Imagine that. You don't realize that by cutting your price by 10% means you've got to work twice as hard for the same money.
People really,
if that doesn't scare people listening to this, I don't know what will. I really don't.
A mere 10%.
I know, it seems like nothing.
If that matters to the clientele you are serving, you need to serve different clientele, because not once have I ever looked at anything and gone, oh, I wish there was 10% off that and I'd buy it.
Exactly. I know, exactly. And
even when you're spending lots of money, John, what's the difference between 9 and 10 grand?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, does it? Because when you're in that mindset, you want the solution to the problem. And there will be people who will say, I want 9, not 10, just because it's a grand and I can do something else with a grand. There are people out there who will do that, and they don't. Then avoid them, because most just won't. Most will just say, you know, most people making a 50K purchase will just say, I'll transfer the money, look forward to working with you. It's the cheapo, yeah, it's the cheapo clients who will say, well, I've done the money, and you know, this is really important. It's a lot of money, and I'm relying on you to get me results. My wife and I, it's for our lifestyle, our future. So we're counting on you. You know, we expect you to deliver. That's a low price person pissing and moaning about what they've paid you. A quality client is just going to say, "Go ahead, transfer the money. Let's get on with it. Let's do it."
Yeah.
Do you remember that phone call we had when we did the models thing with Simon Bone? Classic case. Anything else?
Yeah.
You two have any questions? Yeah, how much is it? And it wasn't like, what's it going to cost us because we don't have any money. It was, we just want to get it out of the way because we want this. Can we just fucking pay you and get on with it? And she made a good call. She was a good saleswoman because I know she had a script and she should have gone through it, but she made a good judgment call and thought, I know these guys, they just want to pay for it and get on with it. And she said, 10K, yeah, $10,000. I went, US? Can't I pay the woman?
It was funny.
That's what we now. Imagine that if it was someone doing a $500 purchase, they'd have been, oh, it's a bit steep. I need to speak to a wife about that. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, we won't be beaten on price. If I heard, I mean, I guess we never say never, but it's not impossible. If someone came to join us in Foundations and that was their USP, it's not impossible. I would just say, look, I can't help you with that attitude.
Yeah, you're so far gone.
You're so far gone, I can't help you. I guess I might be because I feel so sorry for them.
The only way, John, would be if they held their hands up and they said, look, this is untenable. I know it's stupid. I don't know any other way to get business.
Yeah, I guess then.
The wife needs me busy and out the house, but I don't know what to do.
But the moment they said the word but, they'd be gone.
But it works.
Yeah, but you cannot go around saying you won't be beaten on price. You must charge more. Yeah, but right, off you go.
And most people listening to this, you don't have an elaborate, smart enough strategy to even utter or think about those words. No. Not even the low cost choices in this world think we won't be beaten on price. They know they want to go in as low as possible and they have a very specific strategy of achieving it and they make their money elsewhere. It's very strategical. It's very fucking smart.
I know what they're doing.
It's admirable what they do, but you little fucking one-man band fitting carpets or boilers, for example, your tosspot. Fucking £10 a month, best value. And this shit out. This really pisses me off when their pricing matrices on their website and it's £10, £15, and then £20. And there's always this like highlighted border and a star saying, best value. What? Why are you offering anything else?
And they're highlighting the difference between £10 a month. I mean, who gives a shit? Going back to the low price thing, I mean, if people need to be shown this, and some people have had it thrown at me before, and what about Ryanair? Ryanair have a genius at the helm. What's his name? O'Leary. Yeah. And what you see, the headline price of their seats is just that. And if you play the game, you can get very cheap seats. But if you buy anything on the airplane, it costs, a mortgage and the soul of your eldest, your firstborn. If you break the rules and need extra baggage or anything else, you pay a fortune. You want to change your seats, it's fine. It's fine. That's the rules. Don't like the rules, don't play the game. Yeah. And what you also don't see is what happens on the back end of the fees they charge airports. They have airports, I believe, I was told this, paying them to take their planes there because O'Leary says, we're bringing you 500,000 passengers a year who are going to spend money in your shop. So you should be paying us, not we should be paying you to land there. You should be paying us to bring our planes to you and these customers. I strongly recommend people read the book, A Life in Full Flight. It's his autobiography. It's fucking brilliant. And whether you like him or not, and I'm not saying he's necessarily a nice guy even, he's a genius. And if people need this to be proven to them, just look at how many airlines have tried to copy him with a low price and gone out of business because they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
There's a few that have succeeded. There's Ryanair, there's Southwest in the States. Yeah. I'm now running out of fucking people who have done this successfully. But all the ones who've failed, I mean, even going back 25 years, Ansett in Australia were one of the first ones. Ansett, low-cost airline, went bust. Freddie Laker went bust. You go up the chain, so many of them, hundreds have gone bust. Maybe one or two have succeeded because they know what they're doing. Now, by the same token, please don't think you can be a low-cost supplier of electrical services, of plumbing services, of heating services, of decorating services, of building services, carpentry, whatever. Don't believe you can be a Ryanair, because statistically you're going to be wrong. You ain't. When I say you're not clever enough, I don't mean to say you're not intelligent enough, but you don't have the experience, the expertise. I don't. I wouldn't want to do it, but even if I did do it, it'd be a full-time fucking job putting that together. It would require immense thought and planning and strategy, and I'm not prepared to do it. So the thought of your average tradesperson who's brilliant at his trades, but he's not a businessman really, or a businesswoman, doing this part-time as a tactic, it's just not going to happen. So please don't even fucking try it.
So much easier. Just
put your fucking prices up. Yeah. I mean, and let's face it, there's no need to. I mean, Ryanair have got they had a certain vision. They're like it's like a bus journey. Well, that's great, but then again, perhaps you're better off to go like Lear have done with the private jet ownership. That, to me, that's a much smarter proposition. Well, if
more fun as well.
I think so. But if you're in the trades, then do it. Then be the Learjet owner, the fractional ownership club, the Maserati dealer, the fucking Rolls Royce dealer, and not the guy selling Trabants. No?
Fiat 500s.
Well, to be fair, Trabants are actually very expensive now because they're a collector's item. But the Yugo, the old Skodas that used to be, Polonaise, these really cheap Eastern European cars that used to fall apart.
You're saying names I've never heard of right now.
There's a reason for that, man. Because they're no longer in business.
Well, it sounds like a good thing. Cheap Eastern European cars sounds like a fucking...
Oh, man, I'm going back to when I was about 19 looking for my first car. I mean, I even entertained the idea because it was cheap. I didn't know any better. And you could buy a brand new car for about $3,000, Some Eastern Europe.
What's that in today's money, though?
Well, about that time I was probably on about 100 quid a week. So you're looking at what, $5,000 a year. So 6 months salary, thereabouts.
Not too much then for a car.
No, it was cheap. It was very cheap for a new car. I mean, now you're looking at probably 15 grand. If your average salary is 13, maybe 12, 13 grand equivalent. You don't get much of a brand new car for 13k, do you?
No, you don't.
So that's about what it would be, I suppose. But yeah, you could get brand new. And how many people do you know would buy budget tires? Only fucking idiots, If I'm going to be, if I'm trusting my life with what's effectively a very thin strip of rubber touching the road, I want quality, not cheap.
They say, don't they? Even if you're poor, there's three things that you should spend money on, and it's the things that separate you from the ground. So a bed, your shoes, and your tires.
Sounds about bloody right.
They say if you spend money on those three things, you'll be vastly happier in life.
Yeah, I mean, well, I remember when I first started as a copywriter, and I was really fucking strapped for cash. Just split up my missus, got a big mortgage, kids at home, just started my own business, no income, literally no income, looking for my first client. Got my first client. I needed a computer because I had to run Microsoft Word. And I was so strapped, I got a fucking shitty computer that was running Linux.
Oh.
Nothing wrong with Linux, but it didn't run Microsoft Word at the time. So,
oh, really?
No, I had to use an emulator. Oh, it's just fucking... I went to Tesco and bought the cheapest, nastiest computer I could buy. And I got it home, and guess what? It was cheap and it was nasty.
Ooh.
And I've never done that since. I've always... I mean, now I can afford to buy anything I want in terms of computers and things. But even from that day on, I've always bought the most expensive computer I could either buy, so top of the range, like I did with this Mac I'm on now, or the most expensive one I could afford, because I've never regretted it. Same as software. I mean, I remember when I bought Adobe InDesign at the time, CS3, I think it was. It was 500 quid, and that's 15 years ago, 16, 17 years ago. And that at the time, 500 quid was a lot of money. But it's made me back so much more because of the things I can do with it. I can send ads off to newspapers or magazines, and they're camera ready. They're ready just to go into their fucking system, their publishing system. They don't have to do anything to them. And it's professional, industrial strength software. And I've never
I have to be
regretted spending money on kit. So now, you know.
Well, you've still got kit that I've fucking told you to buy or ordered off Amazon for you that's not being used. It fucks me off.
That one.
Yeah, I want it. Send
I'm
it
not
to
even
me.
open. Look, can you see? I've not even opened the box. Look.
I'll tell you what, John.
Look, see,
I'll
tab is
see.
still there.
I'll swap you the box that we sent the clients. I'll send you one of them.
I can't. No, I'm not talking to you, by the way. I can't believe. No, I can't believe you sent Gareth 2 cups. I haven't even got one.
Have a word with your daughter. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of flack. These last few weeks from you.
You with a fucking postman.
I don't print the labels, bitch.
Mr. Bitch to you.
that's Miss McCulloch.
Ms.
McCulloch does the labels, not me.
Yeah, I do want to use that Stream Deck. To be honest with you, I don't really know what it does. I'm guessing it takes different video feeds and allows you to swap them, so you can switch between maybe your iPad and maybe your face and then something else. And I suppose moving forward, as we do more sophisticated stuff, it will become useful. I might set up a bit of a dark room in the corner here, like Mr. Bowen does.
I got it for you because we was doing a webinar a week, remember? And you said you wished there was an easier way to transition between things. So I said, I will get you something where you press a button and it does exactly whatever you want. You set it up. You're a nerd. You're a massive fucking nerd. You'll have a lot of fun with this. Cunt's not even opened it.
No, I literally haven't opened the box.
You'd love it. Honestly, you press a button and you could have a screen that comes up saying like DBG is having a shit and like an animated GIF of like a cartoon version of you on the toilet. You could press another button that brings up your iPad ready in Notability and Keynote. You could press another one saying, your webinar will begin, and it says your webinar will begin shortly. And then after a specific countdown, it plays music and it shows your face with balloons around it.
It does all that, does it?
Oh, you fucking...
Oh, I want to know how did Elgato get a GIF of me having a shit?
We'd have to commission that. In fact, I'll just show you my secret folder of EBG's GIFs that I've been collecting over the years.
I can imagine. So yeah, this low pricing like it. I mean, well, you know what really fucking cracks me up? Seriously cracks me up. LinkedIn, we spend more. Well, I don't spend a lot of time on there, but of all the social media platforms, I spend more time on there. Probably half an hour a day. And I see it so many times, people posting. They'll start by saying, oh, we don't just work with anyone. We don't take on anyone. We do a quality job and this is our business. And then the next post, they're pissing their mind about their clients. I'm thinking, there's a real dichotomy here. How can you be pissing your mind about clients if you don't take on shitty clients? How can you be pissing your mind about not being paid if you don't work for no money? Because when here's the thing people really need to understand. If you don't get paid something up front, you're working for free. Mm-hmm. And you're working for free with the promise of being paid later. Now, your intention might not be to work for free, and your intention is to be paid later. You don't know that's the client's. The client might never intend to pay you, and I'm sure some don't. And some, although they will intend to pay you, will find an excuse not to. And Robert Ringer talks about 3 people. There's people who intend to cheat you, people who will find an excuse to cheat you, and people who will end up not paying because they just can't. Yeah? If you're not paid up front, doesn't matter what their intention is or what happens with any one of those 3 categories, you don't get paid. You've worked for free. They've reneged on their promise either deliberately, intentionally, by accident, or just because they can't do it. They don't have the money. They could die, And that's actually a legit thing. In this current pandemic, it's entirely possible your clients can die. And listen to this. This is true. Your clients can die, all right? If they die and they don't have a will in place and they're a business owner, for instance, all their assets get frozen until it's all sorted out. That could take a long time. It could take months or years. And you could be bust by then. That's a practical fucking disadvantage of having the plague around. People would laugh and like you now and think, oh, well, how likely is that? I bet it's happened.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And how do you know what happened to you? The way around all this is to get paid up front, at least something. And people will say, yeah, but my clients won't pay up front. Have you asked them? But they haven't. One guy messaged me, he's not a client or anything, and I don't think he ever will be. He doesn't need to be. He says, I took your advice, I did your business accelerator, and now he does industrial machine maintenance. So industrial sewing machine breaks down. Fred, come and fix our machine. And he says, yeah, great. Here's how much it's going to cost. And as soon as the money hits my bank account, so he uses Go Cardless or something else, or I didn't even do a credit card. As soon as the money hits my account, internet banking, I'll come out. And he says, no one has said no. They've all just paid for him to come out because their fucking machines aren't working.
Yeah, it actually personally irritates me when people say, I'll pay you later. It's like, I have the money now. This money's going to be spent on you regardless. Just take it. Just take the fucking money.
Oh, when they say to you, pay me later.
Yeah.
I don't like that either. I like
they go and start doing the work, and you can pay me later. I don't want to pay you later. Yeah, you're doing the work. I want to pay you now. I therefore feel like, I don't know, you owe me something. And also, just take my fucking money. You're working. Just take the fucking money.
Yeah.
It irritates me. This isn't my money anymore. There's a section in my bank account of money that doesn't belong to me. So please, the rightful owners, come collect the money in my bank.
Yeah, because I would hate to be in a situation where all of a sudden I owe this tradesman or someone else money and I can't pay him.
Oh.
I'd be mortified. So if I pay him now, it's done.
Yeah.
You know?
It is, yeah.
I really don't like being in. I mean, we don't have any debt. I mean, we're not quite true. We do on the car because it was advantageous. But if I needed to, I could cover that in cash tomorrow.
Mm.
So we have positive. What's the word? Net worth.
Yeah.
No debt at all, other than what we can cover. Now, I know people who've got up to about 900,000 in the red. That's their debt. You know, they owe that to various people, and they think they're wealthy. They're not.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of credit. You know.
Due to my father, I know a lot of people in the world of property, and I asked them things like, "What's your gearing ratio?" And they've just got no idea. I asked them, you know, with your portfolio, you know, how leveraged are you in terms of, you know, debt to actual equity that you own? And again, they don't know, or they say it's about 80-90% debt. So if there's a housing crisis for whatever reason, or a big old recession or something of similar ilk,
yeah, there was when this COVID thing came about. What happened was that up in Dublin, it was a thing. There was several people, and they made big news, who were highly leveraged. They had mortgages on maybe 40 or 50 properties in Dublin, and they were all being rented out through Airbnb. And they had about an 80% utilization rate. So they were making money hand over fist. But of course, COVID hits, and it all stops pretty much overnight. And because of how leveraged they were, you know, you're talking of mortgages of liabilities maybe 50 grand a month. They just lost a lot almost overnight.
Jesus Christ!
And I can't even.
And right now, again, to the property market, it's a really uncertain market at the moment. It's so uncertain. And correct me if I'm wrong, John, but there's been no economist who's stuck their neck out on the line and predicted there's going to be this crash or there's going to be this boom in X amount of time. There's lots of contrarian reports about what's going to happen in the timelines and yada, yada, yada. I'm seeing people, again, in the property world, and they're usually slimy, dirty cretins trying to sell a course. So now is the best time to be buying property ever. And it's like, hang on a fucking minute, slow the fuck down.
Yeah, I mean, I've been told before I should get into property, but the thing is, I know if I studied it, I would become an expert because that's what I do. But I'm not interested in it. So I know what would happen is I'd get enthusiastic, I'd pour money into it, I'd get myself in a leverage situation, then I'd lose interest. And then it would go all pear-shaped. That's what would happen. And because I know that, I'm not even going to touch it. I wouldn't touch it with the stolen dick. You know? But I just don't understand it, and I don't care enough about it to learn. So yes, I acknowledge I'm probably missing out on a lot of money by not doing it, but I also know I'm missing out on a lot of pain too. Pain I don't need to expose myself to. I know my limitations. You know, I'm not interested in it. I find it boring, and I don't like the. Yeah, there are exceptions, obviously, like you and your dad and things, but I don't like a lot of the people I see dealing in property. No, not my thing. It's not interested.
It's a horrible
Yeah,
network of people. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I hear a lot of it from my old man, who went into property as a hobbyist, which sounds ridiculous, I know, who ended up making it his, you know, his thing that he works 2 days a week for, and tells me he's not retired. I'm like, you're fucking retired. You do 2 days of work, and I don't even think I can call it work. But he shows me things because he's used to being in groups and networking, but similar groups to Elite and whatnot. And it's just so gross. The people in it, it's the biggest get rich quick scheme I've ever seen in my life. That every poor cunt all of a sudden believes they can own property when they ain't got 2 pennies to rub together.
No, it's not for me. The other thing is the thing like economies. If you look at the stats, I know property traditionally always goes up, and it does over the long term. But in that long term, there's a lot of short term peaks and troughs, and people lose their livelihoods in those peaks and troughs.
Yeah, that really pisses me off.
Let's not forget that.
Everyone in property says, well, it always goes up, and they show me like a 100-year graph.
Yeah, that's true. But
I know, but they fail to see the damage just a year can have.
I know.
They draw the median line, you fucking idiot.
The stock market interests me as well, but again, I'd never get into day trading to a point where I wouldn't make it my living, because again, it's too speculative. But they've shown that a computer picking stocks and things at random does just as well as these highly so-called high-skilled traders. I mean, if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what does.
And the best investors are called the lazy investors.
Yeah, they buy something and stick with it.
Yeah, they just buy, and you know, every time they come across some money and they don't know what to do with it, they just buy something, and they never check their portfolio. They just check they just call their brokerage, X amount of money. You know, what shall I buy? Their brokerage said, well, these are the good stocks at the moment that we think. Yeah, I'll have that. Leave it there.
Warren Buffett says, put all your eggs in one basket and then watch them grow, something like that.
Yeah, Warren Buffett says, you know, trading's for idiots. Just invest and don't do anything. Compounding interest. It's a wonderful thing.
So yeah, people. We got way off track there. Interesting conversation. And by the way, neither of us is qualified to give any kind of financial advice. So we are not recommending stocks and shares or property trade or anything else. And I'm not even interested in anyone's opinion on what we said about property either. That's not my opinion about property as an investment. It's my opinion as me getting into property as a business. I don't want to do it because I don't understand it and I know I'd fuck it up. So, and then it's Connor's opinion of people in property. So your opinion on property as a business is irrelevant. We don't give a shit about it. Or you, to be honest, whoever you are.
Yeah. Before we get a message.
What we are categorically not saying is property investment is per se a bad idea. That is not what we're saying. But the heart of thinking will be triggered by this, won't they?
They will be triggered.
I think we're talking about property investing when we're not. We're talking about the scum that inhabit the world.
Exactly. I know many a person that makes many a very honest living off property, and they know nothing about that dirty side of property. They just have some money. They buy some properties for a reasonable amount and they rent it out and they live off the rental income, and they're not over leveraged and they're very happy people, and they're far happier than those who try and do it as a business because they are constantly stressing about the margins. They're constantly trying to negotiate an extra 5% off the house price. They're constantly trying to battle with the bank to get approved for loans. And those people are miserable. They're fucking miserable. And just to echo what John says, we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice in any way, shape or form. Do whatever you fucking like with your money. But there's a smart thing you can do, and that's join us in foundations.
Definitely. If you want to make, if you're in the trades and you want to make more money with less work, less hassle, fewer headaches, and you want to get better clients, and you want to sell to them at higher fees, and you want it all fed by pipeline, moist and turgid, yeah? And that itself is filling the background, hands off on an autopilot. Go to growyourbusinessfast.co.uk/SSQ and take the sales certainty quiz, because that will show you where you are lacking at the moment in your business. And then when you've done that, you know where to plug it, plug the leaky holes in your sales pipeline. So in the meantime, stay safe, stay inside, wash your hands, do not invest in property unless you know what you're doing, and do not shit on your fingers. See you later. Ta-da.
Hefner.